As far as I'm concerned, the current scandal that's happening right now in the royal family isn't just about that man and his ex-wife. It's also about the royal family collapsing under its own contradictions. What do I mean? If you look closer, you see a family that's at war with itself. So you have the other brother and his wife moving to a new Windsor home, and you also have that uncle actually demanding that he lives in Frogmore Cottage, Harry and Meghan's former home, and he wants his ex-wife to have Adelaide Cottage. And it's, for me, it's like watching the Titanic rearrange the deck chairs. Everyone is still fighting for position while the ship, that is Monarchy, is sinking. Behind the scenes, this is a PR war. Each royal household has its own media machine, its own spin doctors, its own narratives, and its own set of royal reporters. And that's the danger, because you have a family that is supposed to be built on unity, but it's divided by strategy. They can't silence the past anymore. The Epstein connection, the public backlash, the double standards, it's all too visible. These were things that were buried under the former monarch. But right now, all the cracks are showing. The British people are beginning to see what's really behind the crowns, the tiaras, the carriages, the power games, the self-preservation, and more importantly, the zero accountability. And that's why this scandal actually feels final. This is why this scandal feels different, not because it's the worst scandal that's ever happened to that family, because heaven knows it's not, but because it's the one that stripped away every illusion.
The House of Windsor is in crisis, not from fire, but from a collapse within. The very foundations of the British monarchy, once thought unshakable, are now trembling under the weight of unprecedented challenges. The monarchy's carefully crafted image of duty and tradition is crumbling, exposed by relentless public scrutiny and the unfiltered lens of social media. Every gesture, every word, is dissected and debated in real time, leaving little room for the mystique that once protected the royals. For generations, the royals survived by projecting stability and mystique, but now the public is no longer content to watch from the sidelines. Ordinary citizens, once awed by royal pageantry, now voice their doubts and frustrations openly, demanding transparency and accountability. Scandals like Prince Andrew's legal troubles and the Sussexes' dramatic exile aren't isolated. They're symptoms of a system out of step with modern values. These controversies have become lightning rods for deeper questions about privilege, responsibility, and the relevance of the monarchy itself. The late Queen Elizabeth II was the monarchy's shield. With her gone, the family's flaws are laid bare. Her steady presence once united the nation, but her absence has left a void that no one seems able to fill. The public now questions the very purpose of a hereditary institution that seems to reward privilege and protect its own at all costs. The idea of monarchy, once a source of national pride, is now a subject of heated debate and skepticism. The old silence that once signified strength now looks like complicity. The refusal to address scandals or adapt to changing times is seen not as dignified restraint, but as a sign of being out of touch. Traditions that once charmed now seem exclusionary and outdated. The rituals and ceremonies, once celebrated, now highlight the distance between the royals and the people they claim to serve. The palace walls no longer keep the world out. They trap the royals inside their own unravelling story. The grandeur that once inspired awe now feels like a gilded cage, isolating the family from the realities outside. The monarchy is no longer a fairy tale, but a real-life drama, losing its audience. The crowds are thinning, and the once adoring public is turning away, searching for new symbols of unity and hope. This is an existential crisis, striking at the heart of the monarchy's claim to legitimacy. The very question of whether the institution should survive is now openly debated in Parliament and in homes across the country. The public is asking, why should we fund a family locked in conflict and self-preservation? As economic pressures mount, the cost of royalty is scrutinized more than ever, fueling calls for reform or even abolition. The magic is gone, replaced by a harsh, unflattering reality. The crown, once a symbol of unity and continuity, now stands as a relic under a spotlight, its cracks exposed for all to see. The future of the monarchy hangs in the balance, uncertain and contested as never before. The Prince Andrew scandal exposed the monarchy's deepest and most glaring hypocrisy. His ties to Jeffrey Epstein weren't just personal failings. They revealed an institution willing to shield its own, no matter the cost or consequence. The disastrous BBC interview showed a man and a system devoid of accountability or empathy for victims. The palace's instinct was to protect Andrew, only acting when public outrage left them with no choice. Stripping his titles was a reluctant, forced move, not a genuine moral stand. The scandal confirmed the public's suspicion. For the royals, image always trumps justice. Andrew remains a symbol of privilege without responsibility, haunting the family's reputation to this day. This episode did more damage to the monarchy's credibility than years of minor gaffes ever could. Consider the stark contrast in how the monarchy protected Prince Andrew, shielding him from public scrutiny and controversy, even as serious allegations swirled around him. Now, compare that to the monarchy's swift and decisive rejection of Harry and Meghan, who were quickly distanced from the royal fold. The Sussexes were effectively cast out for daring to challenge the system, for speaking openly about their struggles with mental health, and for raising uncomfortable truths about racism within the institution. Meghan, in particular, faced relentless, racially charged scrutiny from the press, while the palace maintained a wall of silence, refusing to offer her public support or protection. The institution went out of its way to defend Andrew, issuing statements and standing by him, but left Meghan isolated and unsupported, making its priorities clear. Conformity and tradition mattered more than compassion or fairness. When Harry and Meghan requested a hybrid royal role, hoping to serve both the crown and their own causes, their proposal was flatly denied, not for constitutional reasons, but to maintain strict control over the royal brand and its image. The message was unmistakable. You're either all in or all out. There's no room for flexibility, no space for meaningful change within the monarchy's rigid structure. By pushing them away, the monarchy didn't just lose two family members, it created powerful critics with a global platform, amplifying their voices on the world stage. The Sussex paradox exposes a system that fears reform and transparency more than it fears becoming irrelevant, revealing deep anxieties at the heart of the institution. Their departure didn't resolve the underlying issues. It created a rival court, deepened the crisis, and forced the monarchy to confront uncomfortable questions about its future. In the end, the monarchy seems willing to cannibalize itself rather than adapt, clinging to old ways even as the world demands change. The Sussexes' exit moved the royal conflict into the public arena, a PR war between rival courts. Every announcement, appearance, and leak became a strategic move, with the public forced to pick sides. Royal communications teams now focus as much on undermining rivals as promoting their principles. Anonymous sources and timed leaks are the weapons of choice, turning the family into a soap opera. The illusion of unity is shattered. The mantra, never complain, never explain, replaced by leak and spin. Public trust has eroded, with every photo and statement scrutinized for manipulation. The infighting distracts from real duties and reduces the royals to characters in a tabloid drama. As the Waleses and Sussexes battle for headlines, the institution itself is burning. The royal family's media strategy, once powerful, has become its undoing. The old model, controlling access and rewarding friendly journalists, can't survive in the digital age. The monarchy wants to appear modern, but refuses true transparency. Staged, candid moments and edited photos, like the 2024 Mother's Day scandal, have shattered trust. The PR machine now manufactures, not polishes, the truth. Instead of building appeal, this obsession with image has made the royals seem inauthentic and manipulative. the public reads between the lines, seeing only cracks and cover-ups. The palace's desperate control signals it has something to hide. The PR machine has devoured itself, leaving the monarchy at the mercy of a story it can no longer control. The fairy tale is over. The audience has seen behind the curtain. The monarchy's greatest threat isn't scandal. It's a generational shift in values that's sweeping across the UK. For today's youth, the question isn't just about who sits on the throne, but whether the throne itself should exist in a modern society. Millennials and Gen Z see hereditary privilege and unearned wealth as offensive, not aspirational. To them, the idea of being born into power feels outdated, even unjust, in a world that increasingly values merit and fairness. Scandals like Andrew's and the treatment of Meghan Markle are case studies in systemic injustice for a generation raised on equality and social justice. These events aren't just tabloid fodder, they're proof that the system is flawed at its core. Younger Britons are more likely to question the monarchy's relevance and cost, seeing it as a relic of inequality. For many, the royal family represents a past that no longer fits with their vision for the future. They consume media on their own terms, dismantling the royal image with memes and unfiltered commentary. Social media gives them the power to challenge the narrative, turning the royals into punchlines rather than icons. The royals are no longer revered, they're just content. Their every move is dissected, debated, and often dismissed in the fast-moving world of online culture. This isn't a phase, but a realignment of cultural values. The shift is deep and lasting, rooted in a desire for a society that reflects their ideals. The younger generation questions not just the royals, but the institution itself. They're asking whether the monarchy has any place in a country striving for equality and progress. The monarchy can't answer with photo ops. The illusion is shattered. No amount of tradition or spectacle can restore the unquestioned loyalty of the past. Their verdict will decide the crown's fate. The future of the monarchy now rests in the hands of a generation unafraid to demand change. The House of Windsor is collapsing from within, undone by its own contradictions. Scandals aren't the cause, they're symptoms of a system built for a world that no longer exists. The monarchy is locked in a cycle of rivalry and self-preservation, eroding its foundations. Its fatal flaw-preaching duty while practicing discord and self-interest. The public no longer funds a fairy tale they know is false. The balance between mystique and relatability is broken. The curtain has been pulled back. The royals are revealed as flawed people propped up by privilege. The magic is gone, only cold reality remains. Future historians will see this as the era the monarchy lost its way and legitimacy. The old monarchy is dying, not with a bang, but with the whisper of 1,000 damning headlines.
To all my amazing and curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Bye bye. See you in our next episode. Bye.